Alright, now we are moving on to Chapter 6, which is skincare products, and this is going to include product chemistry, ingredient, and selection. The learning objectives for this chapter is to explain how skincare products and ingredients are significant to estheticians, describe cosmetic regulations, laws, and product safety, distinguish cosmetic ingredient sources and popular ingredients in cosmetic chemistry, identify beneficial ingredients for skin types and conditions, select appropriate products for facial treatments and home care using a professional skincare line. So it's pretty important to know our products and ingredient selection because it's first critical to know the basic chemistry of formulations and the cosmetic ingredients. We want to know what benefits they give and what we're trying to treat. You don't want to use an ingredient just because everyone else is using it. It's like, no, pick out what ingredients you should be using for that specific client. Otherwise, they're not going to see results that they may be wanting to see for specific concerns. You also want to know potential side effects and how to select the products and ingredients based off of that individual's needs, their skin type, and their skin condition. You also would want to know products and ingredients that you should be avoiding, and then also how to handle any adverse reaction that the client could have. For educating clients, it's super important to help them understand the products and ingredients that you're using in the treatment room or the products that you're recommending them for home care use. And you should be able to explain to your clients what the products are doing and how to use them. So you should be able to explain what the products are and the ingredients are doing and why they're effective. You also want to give your clients realistic expectations, and then also how they should properly use them at home, how often they should use them. If they're using a very aggressive exfoliator, you might want to adjust based off person to person, but a few days a week to up to once every week. And having that knowledge and being able to just tell people will bring them confidence that you know what you're talking about. And just like with everything else in the industry, it's important to remain on top of any of the latest ingredient and product technology. They're coming out with so many different new serums, new formulations, and new ways of products that can topically penetrate the skin even deeper or work over time. So it's super important to kind of be on top of what else you can recommend your clients or what else you can maybe include into your treatments. And as an esthetician, it's super important to learn our laws, regulations, and then any safety guidelines when it comes to cosmetic products and packaging. In the US, we have the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, and that is what's responsible for ensuring the safety of any of the nation's cosmetics, which would include makeup and skincare products. So the two most important laws that pertain to cosmetics that are marketed in the United States is the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, or the FD&C Act, and the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act, or the FPLA. So the FDA is what's regulating our cosmetics under the authority of those two laws, and the law doesn't require cosmetic products and ingredients other than the color additives to have FDA approval before they go onto the market. So cosmetics may not be labeled or advertised with the statements that suggest that the FDA has approved of the product. Going in a little bit deeper about how the law defines cosmetics and drugs. So the FD&C Act is what's defining our cosmetics, and they're defining cosmetics as articles intended to be rubbed, poured, sprinkled, sprayed on, introduced into, or otherwise applied to the human body for cleansing, beautifying, promoting attractiveness, or altering the appearance. So cosmetics are intended to affect the appearance of the skin. And then on the other hand, drugs are identified by the FD&C Act by articles intended to be used in the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, treatment, or prevention of disease, and articles other than food intended to affect the structure or any function of the body of man or other animals. So just to recap, cosmetics are intended to affect the appearance of the skin, while drugs are intended to cause an actual physiological change. Which goes on to the question, can a product be both drug and cosmetic? And yes, kind of. So there's non-prescription medicated products that do have lower doses in active ingredients, and they meet the definition of both cosmetic and drugs. So these are considered over-the-counter or OTC drugs, and this can happen when a product has two intended uses. So it could have a acne cleanser. So the cleanser part of the cosmetic, so the cleanser part is cosmetic because it's intended to cleanse the skin, but the acne cleanser may have added benzoyl peroxide, which is a drug because it's intended to treat acne. Also, moisturizers or makeup that's marketed with SPF claims are another non-prescription cosmetic drug combination, and they have to comply with FDA requirements for both cosmetics and drugs. And so the term cosmeceutical, if you've ever heard of that, it has no true meaning under the law. So in the professional skincare industry, they kind of created this term cosmeceutical as a bridge between cosmetic and pharmaceuticals or drugs. So it can be used in many ways, but it's generally referring to a professional skincare product or makeup line that includes pharmaceutical grade ingredients, and that pertains to a little bit higher concentration, grade, and then purity of the active ingredients. So with product labeling laws and regulation, the FDA is regulating all cosmetic labeling. So it states that the cosmetic companies have to list the company's name, the location, or distribution point, as well as any or all of the ingredients that are in the product. Ingredients also have to be listed in descending order of predominance. So starting from the ingredient that has the highest concentration, which a lot of the times you might notice is like water, and then it's ending with the ingredient that has the lowest concentration. And if I remember correctly, it's like after about like 10 or 15 ingredients, they're kind of like out of order after that because the concentration is so minimal. And then also fragrance has to be listed as fragrance, but the particular ingredients that are used in the fragrance don't have to be listed. The FDA also requires that all cosmetic labels include a list of ingredients that use standardized INCI names for each ingredient. So NICI just is an acronym for the International Nomenclature Cosmetic Ingredient, and it's the names that are all allocated by the American Cosmetic Association, Personal Care Product Council, and they're all used internationally. So all of the nomenclature, all of the names of the ingredients are used internationally. But this is just basically making it so product from product, all of the ingredients that are on the packaging are listed consistently using the same name or the same ingredient name from product to product. So that way customers are able to easily compare products. With product safety, companies and individuals who market cosmetics have a actual legal responsibility to ensure the safety and proper labeling of the products. So under the law, cosmetics cannot be misbranded. There's many ingredients that are used in skincare products and treatments that can cause adverse reactions to the skin. So some fragrances, some preservatives even, and chemical sunscreen ingredients can be among some allergens or common allergens. So some symptoms, it's very difficult to distinguish whether there's an allergic reaction happening or if it's just an irritant. So in general, symptoms of an irritant reaction would include burning, while itching is usually a sign of an allergic reaction. So additional symptoms, there could be inflammation of the skin, blisters, hives, or rashes. Also, the eyes may swell, puff up, or produce tears. And it can be detected immediately after a product application, or it might not even show up until days or weeks later. So any clients should disclose allergies on the intake form, and we would for sure need to avoid any adverse reactions for those potential irritants during the treatment, and then also when we recommend them home care products. So to kind of not really avoid adverse reactions, but to kind of get around someone having a severe reaction, something we should be doing or we could be doing is patch testing. So if there are concerns about an adverse reaction, you should apply a small quantity of the product that you are more concerned about on the inside of the arm near the elbow, or you can also apply it right behind the ear. And if there is a reaction within 24 hours, the product should not be used. If someone does have an adverse reaction, which might happen, what you need to do is remove the product immediately. You want to rinse the skin with cold water and then also apply cold compresses until the skin calms. So you can use cool 4x4s and maybe even grab some of the cooling globes to kind of apply that over top to just kind of cool off the skin some. And if the client does come and contacts you regarding an adverse reaction from a recommended home care product, you should advise them to discontinue that product immediately. And if the reaction is very serious, you should let them know to seek medical care, and then also bring the product with them to determine the cause of why their skin reacted. And then also you should notify the product manufacturer just to let them know that this happened. Question 1 is, what agency in the United States is responsible for ensuring the safety of our nation's cosmetics, including makeup and skincare products? Question 2 is, what should an esthetician do if during a facial treatment the client has an adverse reaction? Cosmetic ingredients can be derived from either natural sources, including plants, vitamins, or animals even, and they can also be synthesized in a lab using chemical compounds. Typically, products that are directly from nature can have powerful skin benefits, but also some of the most effective cosmetic ingredients aren't derived from natural sources. So synthetically produced ingredients can be just as effective and may have certain advantages over ingredients that are derived from nature, such as no use of pesticides or not leaving an ecological footprint. I would also include that typically with synthetically produced ingredients, sometimes they're a little bit safer because people can have allergies to more natural products. Also, I would even go further and say, depending on the source of the natural ingredients, they may vary product to product a little bit. So you might buy one product one year and then the next year maybe the harvest wasn't the same and it could be a little bit altered, if that makes sense, with the ingredient that they were using. So manufacturers do extensive research and development to bring the latest technologies into cosmetic formulations. So for example, hyaluronic acid was derived from rooster's combs, and the synthetic version today is way more stable and effective. Many manufacturers also combined natural source and synthetic ingredients to obtain the benefits of both. So I know BioElements kind of does this, and clients may prefer one or the other, and knowing the benefits of both is important for estheticians and for those who are selling the products. So there's some popular terms which aren't regulated by the law, but they are typically used for marketing purposes. So natural or all natural is often used in marketing for skincare products and ingredients that are derived from natural sources. So some consumers may seek more natural ingredients because they're concerned about the effects of more chemical ingredients, quote unquote, but the true concern pertains to toxic ingredients, which in general come from both natural and synthetic sources. So, for like, you wouldn't put poison ivy on you, that's technically toxic. So, something that's all natural might not necessarily be better. And there are now many resources available online that's easily able to find toxicity ratings on ingredients in skincare products as well. Organic describes a natural source ingredient that is grown without the use of pesticides or chemicals. So these ingredients are becoming a little bit more popular as consumer demand increases. And the only regulation for the term organic is by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, or the USDA, since it applies to agricultural products. So the FDA doesn't define or regulate the term as it applies to cosmetics, body care, or personal care items. So these products can contain agricultural ingredients, and it can meet certain standards, but they may be eligible for only they could be eligible just to be certified organic under the National Organic Program regulations. Cruelty-free is a term that's used to describe products that are not tested on animals, yet any stage of production process, nor any of the ingredients that are tested on animals. But, I mean, kind of stinks to say this, but technically almost anything has been at one point tested on an animal, so most ingredients have probably been tested on an animal, unless it's like a brand new ingredient or something that was synthesized in a lab. But most products or most ingredients at some point in time have been used on an animal, so cruelty-free is more, I feel like, used if it's more recently, in my opinion. Vegan products should not contain any animal ingredient or animal byproduct. So that would include honey, beeswax, collagen. But however, the term isn't regulated, and it's often used to note that the product does not contain any animal ingredients, but some could still technically contain animal byproducts. Other popular terms that you might see on product packaging is gluten-free. So gluten is just a general name for the proteins that are found in wheat and rye. And celiac disease is an autoimmune disorder in which eating gluten can cause the lining of the body's small intestine to become super inflamed. And more recently, celiac disease, gluten sensitivities, and gluten intolerance cases have been more on the rise. And as they grow, healthcare professionals kind of learn more about the conditions. But as a result, the cosmetic chemists have formulated gluten-free products kind of as like a marketing thing, because there's really no scientific evidence that the use of gluten-containing products is harmful to someone that has celiac disease, unless the product is ingested or is used on the lips or in the mouth. But to establish the gluten-free claim, the FDA and organizations that are concerned with international food standards have set a threshold of less than 20 parts per million of gluten. So the product that has gluten-free on it, or on the packaging, can't have any more than 20 parts per million of gluten, basically. Hypoallergenic, dermatologically tested, and non-irritating are just terms that are describing ingredients or products that may be less likely to cause an allergic reaction. So it's not a guarantee that the skin won't react, so that is something to keep in mind. Non-comedogenic refers to ingredients that will not clog the pores or should not clog the pores. And comedogenic refers to ingredients that tend to clog pores, especially by the formation of blackheads. Fragrance-free indicates that there's no additional ingredients that have been added to the product to specifically provide a fragrance, but it could, however, contain ingredients that do have a scent. So, an example, a product may contain lavender, for the therapeutic benefits. So although it has a very distinct aroma, if it was not specifically added to give the product scent, the product can still be considered fragrance-free. Unscented products are formulated to have no smell at all. So most ingredients do have an odor. So there are ingredients that are added to mask or neutralize that smell. So for example, if a product does have lavender, there can be a chemical that's added to mask or neutralize that smell, and the product can be then labeled as unscented. Question number 3 is, what is the difference between non-comedogenic and comedogenic ingredients? Every ingredient that is used in cosmetic chemistry has a purpose in the finished product. So that means there is no filler ingredients. But ingredients are divided into 2 main categories, although some ingredients can serve multiple roles in products and can act as both. So one category is functional ingredients. So these are ingredients that don't affect the appearance of the skin, but they are necessary for the overall product formulation. Functional ingredients can act as vehicles that allow products to spread, give the product more body or texture, and then also give products the form that they are. So if it's a lotion, a gel, or a cream. And some common functional ingredients are going to be our water, emollients, surfactants, delivery systems, preservatives, fragrances, color agents, thickeners, pH adjusters, and solvents. So performance ingredients are causing the actual change in the appearance of the skin. So they can sometimes be referred to as active agents, or mostly called active ingredients, which is what I call them. The actual term active ingredient is a more official term that is used in the drug industry to indicate that the ingredient is causing a chemical or physiological change into the skin. And the main types of ingredients that are used in product formulations include a combination of both functional and performance ingredients. So a list on the screen, those are the most common typically. So water is both functional and a performance ingredient. The purpose is, as a functional ingredient, it helps keep other ingredients in a solution and acts as a vehicle to help spread the product across the skin. And as a performance ingredient, it replenishes the moisture on the surface of the skin. Emollients are also both functional or performance, and as a functional ingredient, it helps place, spread, and keeps other substances on the skin. And it acts as a performance ingredient, so it lubricates the skin's surface, it guards the barrier function, and emollients in products are one of the most common performance ingredients. Typically, they are made of lipids, which are substances like fats, oils, or waxes, and they can be either natural or synthetic. They lie on top of the skin and they help prevent dehydration. So emollients may be very rich, or they can also be lighter in consistency. Some types of emollients, we have oils, which when formulated in cosmetics vary in density, fat content, and heaviness, and they can come in different sources. So the 2 most common, we have mineral sources, which are oils from the earth, and they're coming from highly refined and a purified petroleum source. So non-reactive and biologically inert, so they can be used without any added preservatives. And examples would be like liquid paraffin or mineral oil or petroleum. We also have botanical sources, which are oils from plants, and they vary in fatty acid content and heaviness. So for example, there's coconut oil and palm oil, which are more of the fattier or heavier oils, but there's also argan oil or hemp seed oil that is a little bit lighter and less comedogenic. We also have silicones, which are a group of oils that are chemically combined with silicone and oxygen and leave a non-comedogenic protective film on the skin. It can also act as a vehicle in some products, and they're excellent protectors. They add more of like a silky, non-greasy feel to products. So this kind of has like I think of like a silicone face primer that may have like a very nice silky feel. Some example would be a dimethicone, which would be a silicone emollient. There's also fatty acids, which are a lubricant ingredient that is derived from plant oils or animal fats. These are typically non-irritating. They're more like oils. So a caprylic acid or stearic acid or oleic acid are all fatty acids. Fatty alcohols aren't actual alcohol, so these are just fatty acids that have been exposed to hydrogen. They are not drying because they're not like actual alcohol, but it's more of like a wax consistency. So this would be like our acetyl alcohol, lauryl alcohol, and stearyl alcohol. Fatty esters are produced from combining fatty acids with the fatty alcohol, and they're a little bit more easily recognized on labels because they almost always end in ate or ate. They also often feel a little bit better than natural oils, and they can lubricate a little bit more evenly. Surfactants are just more functional ingredients. They reduce the tension between the skin and the product, so reduce that friction. They increase the ability of the cosmetic product to spread. It can also act as a cleansing agent or a foaming agent and emulsifiers to create a stable mixture of the oil and the water. And they work by becoming infused in both water and oil mixtures. And they play many roles in the cosmetic formulation, and a lot of them are pretty versatile. So the types of surfactants is detergents and emulsifiers. So detergents are the main types of surfactants, and they are used primarily in cleansing products. So think of like a laundry detergent is cleaning. And these detergents are the agents that are causing the cleansers to actually foam and remove oil, dirt, makeup, and then any debris from the skin surface. We also have emulsifiers, which are surfactants that cause oil and water to mix. So they're basically surrounding the particles and then allowing them to remain evenly distributed throughout. So without these emulsifiers, the oil and water would just separate into layers. There are two types of emulsifiers. We have the oil and water, or the O/W, which keeps the oil drops mixed into water. And this is going to be used in more hydrating products like light lotions and serums, because there's going to be less oil and more water since the water is surrounding the oil. There is also water and oil, or W/O, which keeps water droplets mixed in with the oil. So this is going to be used in more rich moisturizers like night creams. So there's going to be a little bit more oil in these formulations, and then the smaller, like the water droplets, are spread out throughout the oil. We have delivery systems, which are functional ingredients as well, and these are used to distribute a product's key performance ingredients into the skin once it's applied. The types of delivery systems are vehicles, liposomes, and polymers. So vehicles are carrying bases and spreading agents necessary for the formulation of a cosmetic. So they're carrying or delivering other ingredients into the skin and making them more effective. Liposomes are really tiny, hollow, fluid-like spheres, kind of like a bubble that's filled with performance ingredients. So the ingredients that actually cause a change in the skin, to encapsulate and protect them. There's a bilayer structure, like in the picture, that mimics cell membranes, allowing for easy penetration beyond the stratum corneum, so easier penetration inside of the skin. They bring key ingredients to the targeted depth of the skin and then slowly release them. They also protect the quality and the integrity of the performance ingredients, which makes them work a little bit better. And then polymers are chemical compounds that are formed by a number of small molecules. Moving on to preservatives. So preservatives are functional ingredients. The purpose of these are to mostly prevent bacteria, fungi, molds, and other microorganisms from living in a product or growing in a product. They also extend the shelf life of the product and offer protection from any chemical changes that can adversely affect the product overall. Some types of preservatives: we have traditional, which includes formaldehyde releasers and parabens, and some of the chemical preservatives remain more controversial due to potential irritancy or other health concerns. There are also organic acids and natural alternatives, and these are typically combined together in the product to provide a wider range of protection from the growth of bacteria and fungi. Antioxidants can also be considered preservatives since they are also extending the shelf life of a product and reducing the rate of the oxidation in formulas. Chelating agents are ingredients that are added to cosmetics that boost the efficacy of the preservatives. So they're working by breaking down the cell walls of the bacteria and other microorganisms, and then that makes it so the other preservatives act better. Fragrances are considered functional ingredients. They may be added to mask a formulation's unpleasant natural smell. They can neutralize the smell, or they can improve the customer's experience and use of the product. We have two types of fragrances. There are synthetic fragrances, which are created by combining chemical ingredients in a laboratory, and these will typically just be listed as fragrance. There are also natural fragrances, which would be botanicals that comprise the basic elements of natural scents and skincare. So essential oils are the most popular natural fragrance, and these are highly concentrated plant oils that are used for their natural aroma. And essential oils are also typically used in aromatherapy. So aromatherapy itself is derived from the ancient practice of using natural plant essences to promote health and well-being. So the plant essences being the essential oils. Color agents can be either functional or performance ingredients. So as functional ingredients, they enhance the visual appeal, but as a performance ingredients, they add color to makeup products. The types of color agents: there are certified colors, which are subject to FDA batch certification, and these include synthetic or organic dyes, lakes, and pigments. And lakes are just insoluble pigments that are made up by combining dye with an inorganic material. And non-certified colors are organic compounds that are primarily from mineral, plant, or animal sources. And although they are not subject to FDA batch certification requirements, they are still considered artificial colors. So then when they are used in cosmetic or other FDA regulated products, they do have to comply with all of the labeling requirements. So moving on to thickeners, pH adjusters, and solvents. Thickeners are considered functional ingredients. So these are added to the products to give it a specific consistency or to also help suspend ingredients that are a little bit harder to mix in a product. And they're derived from various sources like lipids or fats, emulsifiers, polymers, minerals, and other synthetic ingredients. pH adjusters are also functional ingredients, and they can also be called buffering agents, but these are stabilizing products and preventing any changes in the pH. So acids and alkalis are used to adjust the pH of products. So for example, you might see citric acid on a lot of products, and that's just to lower the pH of a given product, most likely. I mean, citric acid can be used for other things, but it's used a lot more just to make sure that the product stays a little bit more acidic. Or also sodium bicarbonate or baking soda can be used to make the pH a little bit higher or more alkaline if the pH is too low. Solvents are also functional ingredients, and the purpose of them is just to be added to the product formulation to help dissolve the other ingredients. So, most common would be water, but also alcohol would be technically a solvent too. Botanicals are performance ingredients. So, the purpose of botanicals are that they can provide a lot of benefits to support the health, the texture, and integrity of the skin. So, they can help heal, soothe, and brighten the skin. And many botanical ingredients also provide an antimicrobial and an antioxidant benefit. Botanical ingredients originate from plants, so that can include herbs, roots, flowers, fruits, leaves, and seeds, and they can have a lot of different composition variety, so they can be extracted by using a solvent. Different parts can be processed, dried, or ground into a powder. There could be squeezed or pressed for the juice or the oil. So the list is endless of what you might find for more natural botanicals. And going on to exfoliation, these are considered performance ingredients, and the purpose of exfoliation, as we should know by now, is that it's for removal of dead skin cells on the outermost layer of the skin surface. It can help the skin appear more brighter. It allows for other skincare products to be more effective or to penetrate a little bit deeper. There are mechanical exfoliation ingredients. So mechanical exfoliation is also referred to as physical exfoliation. So these are going to be our ingredients that are used to polish away dead skin cells from the skin surface. And you would do a gentle massage action to loosen any of the dead skin cells to be softened away. And for chemical ingredients, chemical agents are used to dissolve dead skin cells on the skin's outer surface and the intercellular matrix that holds them together, which are called desmosomes. And they smooth the skin. They also can help brighten the overall skin tone and improve conditions such as acne. So that's why I typically prefer chemical exfoliation for acne. And enzymes are kind of a type of chemical exfoliation. They provide a gentle exfoliation and dissolve keratin proteins within the dead skin cells on the surface to make the skin a little bit more soft and smooth. And they also help maintain the hydration level of the epidermis. So some types of chemical exfoliants include alpha hydroxy acids. So these are naturally occurring acids that are derived from fruit, nuts, milk, or sugars, and they can be synthetically produced. Alpha hydroxy acids are water soluble, so they dissolve and kind of glue holding dead skin cells together, and they brighten the skin, smooth the surface of the skin, and aid in cell turnover and collagen production. So some examples would be glycolic acid, which is the smallest molecular structure out of the AHAs, and it has the ability to penetrate the deepest out of all of them then. And products with a higher concentration need to be used with more caution, especially if anyone has thin or sensitive skin, because they do penetrate a little bit deeper and are typically a little bit stronger. Lactic acid is another AHA, and these are kind of also a little bit more popular. They have a larger molecular structure than glycolic acid, which means they're going to be generally a little bit more gentle and a little bit less irritating because they're not going to be able to penetrate as deeply. Mandelic acid is going to be the largest molecular structure, and so that means they're going to be the most gentle out of the three, because again, they're not going to be able to penetrate as deeply as the lactic acid or the glycolic acid. And these are effective to improve the overall skin tone and texture, and they're also specifically helpful in treating oily and problematic skin, since there is also a natural antibacterial and sebum regulating property for mandelic acid. And then there's beta hydroxy acids. So beta hydroxy acid is most commonly going to be salicylic acid. So it's the most common BHA that's found in any skincare products, and it works by dissolving the bond between the cells in the epidermis so the dead skin cells can slough off. Salicylic acid itself is oil soluble, and it has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. And certain botanicals are high in natural salicylic acid, so you may see willow bark extract or willow bark, and that's kind of similar to salicylic acid, or kind of like the botanical version of salicylic acid. Retinol is also considered a chemical exfoliator, which is a vitamin A derivative. And when it's applied, it may not induce the immediate redness or irritation, or it shouldn't. And you can get some visible sloughing, but it may not be seen for several days after the application. And the amount of retinol in the products will vary from brand to brand, product to product, but you can get some higher concentrations that are available through licensed skincare and medical professionals. Lighteners and brighteners are performance ingredients. So the brightening agents are providing and maintaining a natural radiance and glow to the skin. And then botanicals are also a popular source for brightening agents. Lightening ingredients are used to improve the discoloration in the skin or hyperpigmentation. They help return the skin back to its normal healthy color, and they can also be known as melanin suppressants or tyrosinase inhibitors. Hydroquinone is proven to be one of the most effective skin lightening agents available, but it's also pretty controversial due to health concerns. It is classified as a drug in the US, and you can get up to 2% concentration over the counter. And then there's also higher concentrations that are available by prescription only. I know that it's not recommended to use over a very long period of time by some dermatologists. With nutrition, healing, and rejuvenation, these are considered performance ingredients. So when applied topically, ingredients that provide vital nutrients and hydration to the skin also play a role in healing and repairing. So high-tech ingredients also can reduce inflammation, stimulate metabolic processes, and help restore the skin to a healthy state while preventing further damage. So the technical types of these ingredients would be like humectants, hydrators, and hydrophilic agents. So these are ingredients that attract water to the skin surface. So some of the most common would be algae extract, aloe vera, glycerin, hyaluronic acid is super popular now. Even honey can be a humectant and hydrator. Antioxidants are among some of the most effective ingredients for all skin types and conditions. So it's never a bad idea to just recommend an antioxidant serum for a client if they're trying to get into skincare. And they help protect the skin from free radicals and the damaging effects of pollution, stress, and UV rays. And moving into vitamins, vitamins provide essential nutrition for preventing and improving the signs of aging and other skin disorders. Vitamin A is a potent antioxidant ingredient, so it protects against UV damage, and it can also slow down the signs of aging. And it's composed of two parts. There's provitamin A carotenoids, and then there's also retinoids. Vitamin C performs a variety of functions, so it includes stimulating collagen, smoothing texture, brightening and evening skin tone, reducing inflammation, and also enhancing protection against UV exposure, especially when used with SPF. Vitamin E's main function is to protect against UV damage, to strengthen skin's natural barrier, and heal and repair tissue, and it can also help prevent moisture loss. B vitamins are also known as pantothenic acid, and the alcohol form of vitamin B5 is called panthenol, and when this is applied to the skin and it's absorbed in the skin, it converts into pantothenic acid, which then has natural abilities to deeply hydrate the skin. It soothes the skin and heals and then regenerates the skin, so it's very healing. Vitamin K is essential in aiding in the body's process of blood clotting, but when it's applied topically, it can also help reduce swelling and bruising on the skin, and it's recommended by physicians after surgical procedures, and it can also improve the appearance of stretch marks, spider veins, and scarring. and it's also popular in the under eye area. Minerals are needed in the skin for optimal health and function. They also provide a therapeutic benefit when applied topically. Peptides are one of my personal favorite ingredients in general. They are short chains of amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. In skincare products, many peptide ingredients are used to help reinforce proteins naturally occurring in the skin. They can help smooth fine lines and wrinkles, brighten skin tone, repair barrier function, increase the firmness and hydration of the skin, reduce swelling under the eyes, and even provide an antimicrobial effect, which helps treat acne lesions. And with peptides, there's really no downside, so I feel like generally almost anybody can benefit from peptides or using peptides in their skincare. I also really like ceramides, and in skincare products, they help restore the moisture, they reinforce the skin's natural barrier, and also help protect it from the harm of foreign elements. They also replenish the skin's natural lipids. Healing botanicals are botanical oils and also stem cell extracts, and these have become more popular in product formulations because they provide an additional benefit for ultimate healing and repair. Botanical oils are rich in essential fatty acids, and they also promote healthy cell membranes and barrier function. Essential fatty acids help cells stay more fluid and flexible, and they also create an antimicrobial barrier against the elements. There are two kinds of essential fatty acids. There is linoleic acid, which is an omega-6 fatty acid, and alpha-linoleic acid, which is a omega-3 fatty acid. And these can't be manufactured on the skin or by the skin, so they have to be obtained topically or through the diet. Plant stem cells are naturally occurring botanicals extracted from meristems of plants. They have been proven to protect the skin's stem cells from UV-induced oxidative stress, inhibit inflammation, neutralize free radicals, and help reverse the signs of or the effects of photoaging. And they can assist in increasing production of human skin cells and collagen by delivering potent nutrients to the skin. Topically applied probiotics are considered a newer beauty breakthrough, especially for skin prone to acne, rosacea, and eczema. They're used to balance and retain the healthy bacteria on the skin while combating the harmful bacteria. So they're strengthening the skin's barrier function while promoting a healthy immune system. They can also help decrease sensitivity and contain anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties. Polyglucans and beta-glucans are used to enhance the skin's defense mechanism and stimulate cell metabolism. They are hydrophilic, meaning that they attract water, so they help preserve hydration, collagen, and elastin, also by forming a protective film on the skin. And beta-glucans can help reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles by stimulating a formation of collagen. Glycoproteins are also called glycopeptides. They are yeast cell derivatives that have been found to enhance moisture content and immune response, and also cellular metabolism, which boosts cellular oxygen uptake. They play an important part in healing and maintaining a healthy skin structure, including the firmness and elasticity. They can be sourced from human cells grown in a laboratory or also non-human sources like plants. Moving on to my favorite ingredients, sunscreen ingredients. So these are performance ingredients, and the purpose of sunscreen ingredients is to help prevent ultraviolet radiation or UV radiation from harming the skin. The chemical ingredients, or the chemical filters rather, are organic or carbon-based compounds that work by absorbing UV rays into the skin, changing them into heat, and then releasing them from the skin. A lot of, I would say, more US filters of chemical filters can cause irritation as well as an increase in existing brown spots, discoloration, and cell damage. And they can vary in protection from specific UV rays. Physical sunscreen ingredients are also called mineral sunscreens, and they are inorganic, which means without carbon. And these are mineral compounds that physically reflect or scatter the ultraviolet radiation. And physical sunscreens are naturally providing more broad spectrum against UVA and UVB rays, and they're typically more preferred for sensitive skin or reactive skin and inflamed skin conditions like acne and rosacea, especially with zinc oxide, because zinc oxide can be more healing for sensitive and sensitized skin. And question number 4 is, what are 2 main categories of ingredients in cosmetic chemistry? And if you could give an example of each. Moving on to ingredients for skin types and conditions. So products are precisely formulated with ingredients to treat either dry, normal, combination, and oily skin types typically. And many products can include ingredients to improve those specific skin conditions like acne, hyperpigmentation, rosacea, and also the signs of aging. So determining which ingredients are best for individual needs is an important step in product selection. It's also important to remember that the best results are achieved by combining multiple performance ingredients within products. For all skin types, every individual skin, regardless of the type of condition, needs ingredients applied daily to maintain the skin's optimal health. It must have adequate hydration, essential nutrition, and protection from the environment. And skin balance will prevent premature skin aging and cell damage, so it's more of a preventative measure. Ingredients for exfoliation can be beneficial and should be selected based off of the individual's skin type. The types of universal ingredients that can be used for basically any skin type are antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and physical sunscreen ingredients. I would go further and add peptides and ceramides into that. For combination skin, the goal in treating this is to maintain a healthy balance of water and oil. So dry or dehydrated areas should need more moisturizing and increased internal hydration, while oily areas are going to require special care to reduce the overactivity of the oil glands and to keep the pores from becoming clogged or leading to acne. Some beneficial ingredients for combination skin would be emollients, humectants, and oil balancing or regulating ingredients. For dry skin, the goal in treating this is to provide more moisturizing, replenishing, and skin restoring ingredients. So ingredients would include ceramides, emollients, and humectants. In dehydrated skin, our goal is to restore the internal skin hydration and retain inner moisture by preventing transepidermal water loss, or TEWL. So ingredients for this skin type that are beneficial are humectants and light to rich emollients based off of other skin types, so if someone's more oily or more dry. Our goal in treating oily skin is to provide ingredients that reduce the overactivity of the oil glands, promote a healthy oil-water balance, and keep pores from becoming clogged, which can lead to acne. So any type of hydroxy acids, humectants, or light emollients, oil balancing and regulating ingredients, and also clarifying and detoxifying ingredients are all beneficial for oily skin. Our goal for acne and problematic skin is kind of similar to oil, so reducing the overactivity of the oil glands, promoting a healthy oil-water balance, and keeping the pores from being clogged, but also to inhibit acne-causing bacteria, reducing inflammation associated with inflamed lesions, and some clients may also consider going to a professional regarding some internal factors that can cause acne. So it's for types of ingredients, antibacterial and antimicrobial, so like benzoyl peroxide or tea tree, anti-inflammatory and soothing ingredients, humectants and light emollients, oil balancing ingredients, clarifying ingredients, detoxifying ingredients, retinoids, and topical prebiotics are all recommended for acne and problematic skin. For sensitive and reactive skin, our goal in treating this is to choose products with ingredients to soothe, calm, and reduce inflammation, to heal, and to help restore the barrier's function. Some clients with rosacea may also benefit from these ingredients as well. So anti-inflammatory and soothing ingredients, anti-irritant, ceramides, humectants, emollients based off of skin type, topical probiotics, healing, and high essential fatty acids as well. Our goal for hyperpigmentation is to use products with a blend of ingredients that will reduce the heat and inflammation within the skin, accompanied by lighteners and brighteners to reduce pigmented area and minimize melanin production. Also, daily use of a broad spectrum sunscreen, ideally SPF 30 or higher, is recommended to further prevent any darkening of pigmented areas. So for types of ingredients for hyperpigmentation, we would want anti-inflammatory and soothing ingredients, retinoids, and lighteners and brighteners. Mature and aging skin can suffer from many conditions, including dryness, dehydration, inflammation, and hyperpigmentation. And in addition, lines and wrinkles, sagging skin, sun damage can also be visible. So the key ingredients are going to help increase collagen synthesis and improve the appearance of the aging skin. Some also have potent properties to restore, rejuvenate, and protect cell membranes. So types of ingredients would be ceramides, humectants, and emollients based off their skin type, growth factors, vitamin C, peptides, and retinoids. Question number 5 is, what 4 types of ingredients are beneficial for all skin types and conditions? Understanding and selecting the right products is going to play a huge role in the skincare program for your clients and ultimately will help determine the overall results for them. Most skincare products can be grouped into the main categories. We have our cleansers, toners, exfoliants, masks, massage products, serums and ampules, moisturizers, products for eyes and lips, and also sun protection. Cleansers can be found in many forms and contain an assortment of ingredients to target specific skin types and conditions. The benefits of cleansers is that they dissolve makeup, oil, and dirt, and additional ingredients can be used in them to combat specific skin conditions. For types of cleansers, we have cleansing waters, which are also known as micellar water, and these liquids cleanse, tone, and condition the skin all in one step. They're formulated for all skin types, and micellar water is just basically, it has microscopic oil molecules or micelles that are suspended in purified water. So they're typically used with cotton pads, and they don't always need to be rinsed off, while some people may use it as a pre-cleanse, and they are helping to lift the dirt, oil, and makeup, and they don't typically disturb the skin's natural pH balance. Cleansing gels are water-based foaming cleansers, and generally these are the most popular type, and these can be formulated for all skin types. Cleansing lotions are light emulsions, typically best for normal to dry skin types. These don't strip the skin's natural oil or pH balance. Cleansing creams are water and oil emulsions used to primarily dissolve makeup and dirt. They're suitable for very dry and mature skin, and they can also be used by performers to remove heavy stage makeup. Cleansing oils are great for all skin types. They contain beneficial oils to break down makeup, dirt, and excess sebum and pollutants on the skin's surface. They can be used alone or as a double cleanse. Toners are water-based liquids applied to the skin after cleansing with a cotton pad or spritz directly onto the skin, avoiding the eyes. There are alcohol-free toners or fresheners or freshening lotions that contain botanical and hydrators to soothe the skin. And there is also astringents that are toners more formulated for oily or acne-prone skin. And some of them can contain hydroxy acids, and some of them can even contain alcohol. Witch hazel would be a natural astringent. The benefits of toner is that they remove residue left by cleansers or other products, soften the skin, and allow for better absorption of other products to be applied. And they can also have a temporary tightening effect on both the skin and the follicle opening. Exfoliants can include a single exfoliating ingredient or a blend of multiple plus botanical and hydrators. And for home care, exfoliants are often used after cleansing. The frequency will depend on the skin type and condition, and then also the manufacturer's instructions. And in facial treatments, they're generally used after cleansing and toning, and it's important to select the right exfoliant according to the client's skin type and condition. The benefits of exfoliants are softer, smoothing, and brighter complexion, improving the skin's ability to retain moisture and lipids. Cell turnover rate is increased, and blood flow and circulation are also stimulated. The follicle openings are cleaner, and it gives a deeper pore cleansing, and extractions are easier. They help with product penetration and delivery of ingredients to the epidermis, and it becomes more effective. Other products become more effective. Makeup application is also smoother and more even. For types of exfoliants, there are mechanical exfoliants, or also known as physical exfoliants, which polish dead skin cells off of the surface of the skin, manually, or mechanically, or physically. Chemical exfoliants contain ingredients like hydroxy acids, chemical compounds, and retinol. And for home care use, chemical exfoliants could be found as cleansers, serums, creams, and masks, while professional solutions are often called chemical resurfacing solutions, and they can be in liquid or gel form, and they're going to contain a higher concentration of exfoliating agents. Enzymes or enzymatic exfoliants include ingredients like pineapple, papaya, and pumpkin enzymes. They're more gentle and can be beneficial for use in professional treatments and also at home care for particularly sensitive and reactive skin. There's also a type of enzyme exfoliant product known as Grammage, which is a roll-off mask. So it's a cream or paste that contains enzymes that's applied to the skin. It's left to dry slightly, and it allows for the enzymes to digest the dead skin, and then it's kind of rubbed off or rolled off of the skin. Mask ingredients can range from soothing and hydrating botanicals to oil absorbing and acne fighting hydroxy acids, and the list goes on. And they can be formulated in clay, seaweed, or hydrating bases, and some come in powder forms and some come pre-mixed. And these are great because they can treat several skin conditions at once, and they're beneficial for weekly home care use. The benefits of masks are that they tighten and tone and brighten the complexion and rejuvenate the skin. They hydrate, nourish, calm, and soothe the skin. Or they can also clarify, detoxify, draw impurities out of the pores, and also help clear up blemishes. There are different types of masks. So we have non-setting masks, which are designed to remain moist on the skin to provide nourishment. So they don't dry or harden or set up, and they're more beneficial for sensitive skin, inflamed, aging, dry, and dehydrated skin. So they can come in gel forms with soothing ingredients like our gel therapy, or in a cream consistency with moisturizing plant oils and other emollients like our ultra rich cream therapy. Sheet masks are also considered non-setting masks, and these can be available in single packaged, or also you can get containers of like 30 of them. Setting masks create a base that dries and hardens after the application. This would include clay masks, which help draw excessive oil and impurities to the surface of the skin as the mask dries and tightens. They stimulate circulation and temporarily contract pores, and these are typically used on combination oily and problematic skin. Alginate masks are often a seaweed based, and they're applied after a serum or a treatment cream in facial treatments. They come in powdered form, and you can mix them with water or serums. When they're applied to the face, you want to apply them quickly, and then when they're dried to a kind of rubberized textured, and they form a seal that encourages the skin's absorption of the serum or the cream that's underneath them. Modelage masks or thermal masks are applied after a nourishing serum in facial treatments, and these contain crystals of gypsum, and when they're mixed with water, they should be immediately applied over a gauze, and then as that mask hardens, the temperature rises to approximately 105 degrees Fahrenheit, which then helps with the serum underneath penetrate and increase the blood circulation. Paraffin wax masks are specifically prepared in the salon. So wax is going to be melted before the application, and then it's applied on top of a nourishing cream, and then the warm wax allows for a deeper penetration of the ingredients below into the skin and also increase the blood circulation. And then these are more beneficial for dry, mature, or skin that seems to be a little bit more dull and lifeless. There's also custom designed masks or like homemade masks or like DIY masks, which are mixed with fresh ingredients. These can be beneficial unless someone's allergic to a specific ingredient. Something that people have to keep in mind is the sanitation and regulations and convenience kind of hinder the use of homemade masks in the salon. Also, products aren't packaged by the manufacturer can be covered may not be covered under an employee's and employer's insurance. So if someone does have a reaction, you could be liable if something were to go wrong. Massage products are designed to provide slip and glide during a facial massage in a professional treatment. Some contain performance ingredients to help also nourish and treat the skin further. The benefits help improve microcirculation of blood flow to the skin, which also brings a healthy, youthful glow. And they also help to encourage the optimum flow of lymph, which can assist in the elimination of toxins. They can also reduce puffiness and improve the overall quality of the complexion and nourish and hydrate the skin. The type of massage mediums, we have massage oils, which are used for facial massage. They vary in thickness, and typically they're going to contain a blend of botanical oils, and they can have additional ingredients to target specific skin types and conditions. Massage creams, which is kind of my preferred method for massage product, are rich in consistency. They feel a little bit more luxurious, and they contain moisturizing emollients. They provide a great slip for a longer period of time because they don't absorb super quickly. The book says they're preferred for dry and mature skin, but I like them on all skin types because I noticed that they still come off very easily compared to oil. Massage lotions are lighter in consistency. They contain a combination of emollients and humectants. They're the most universal type due to a wide selection of ingredient blends for all skin types as well. Massage gels are water-soluble blends that contain humectants and a variety of other botanicals, and these are more preferred for oily skin, and especially if the skin is dehydrated. Serums and ampules contain highly concentrated performance ingredients, and they're designed to target specific skin conditions and effectively penetrate the skin. They can be applied under moisturizer, mask, or even massage cream, and they can also be used with facial machines in facial treatments. And the biggest difference between the serum and ampule is the packaging. So serums are typically packaged in a pump container or a dropper bottle, and then ampules are in small sealed vials that are like one-time use for a single application. The benefits is that they help increase hydration and nourishment to the skin. They aid the skin in strengthening, healing, and repairing. They are anti-aging. They can help exfoliate, brighten, and even out the skin tone. And then they also help balance oil production and acne prevention. And serums and ampules are typically where I would concentrate the most active ingredients in the routine for clients and for home care, just because they can kind of mix and match and then have like a basic moisturizer, basic cleanser typically. Moisturizers and hydrators are very important in maintaining healthy skin. They are applied at the end of the facial or also intended to be used twice daily for home care. And it's important to select the moisturizer or hydrator based off of the skin type, condition, and then the environment of the client. The benefits of them are that they nourish the skin by increasing and maintaining essential water content. They protect the skin from the elements, prevent premature aging, fight dryness and dehydration, balance the oil-water content of the skin and preventing an overproduction of oil. And they also improve various skin conditions like redness and the signs of aging. So the types of moisturizers and hydrators, we have moisturizers, which are going to be more creams and lotions formulated to create a protective barrier to seal in moisture and soften the skin. They can be more oil-based with a heavier emollient, and those are going to be better suited for drier skin. And then the lighter emulsions are going to be better for combination or oily skin. Hydrators are typically oil-free, and these are formulated with humectants to attract water to the skin, and these are beneficial for dehydrated, oily, and problematic skin. As you guys know, I like to use the hydrator behind hydration, kind of acting as more of like a water-based serum to add moisture to the skin or keep the skin a little bit more hydrated underneath the other moisturizer or a little bit thicker moisturizer. Treatment creams are like nourishing creams or night creams. These are designed to moisturize, condition, and restore the skin, especially during sleep when the normal tissue repair is taking place or the skin is healing a little bit more. And they're often heavier in texture, and they can contain a diverse performance ingredients to target specific skin conditions. And for products for the eyes, since the skin around the eyes is the thinnest and most delicate skin on the entire body, it requires a little bit more special attention. It's more fragile and it's prone to dryness, and it's quicker to show signs of aging and fatigue. There is constant movement and squinting that can speed up creation of crow's feet, and fluids can collect under the eyes, which can cause some puffiness and dark circles. There can also be concerns with thinning eyelashes and eyebrows. The benefit is to protect the delicate tissue and provide a youthful appearance and prevent early signs of aging. They also can help reduce fine lines, wrinkles, puffiness, dark circles, dehydration, and dryness. And then some products can also enhance eyelash and eyebrow growth, the length, and the volume. So there are products like eye balms, creams, and gels, and these are formulated to treat specific concerns and maintain healthy skin around the eye area specifically. There's performance ingredients that can include peptides, antioxidants, and ceramides. Balms are really rich in texture. Creams are going to be a little bit lighter consistency, and gels will be the more very light and containing humectants. Eye makeup removers are helping to gently remove eye makeup, especially waterproof mascara, and these can come in oil-based or oil-free formulas. Eyelash and eyebrow enhancers are used at home daily to nourish, condition, and enhance the growth and volume. Most results will show within 4 to 8 weeks, and there can be more dramatic results between 12 and 16 weeks. And these have to be continued to see more results. So if you stop using them, lashes and brows can typically return to the original state. And these would include like prescription drugs like the Latisse, but you can also get some over-the-counter brands formulated with vitamins, botanicals, and peptides. Aging and environmental impacts can cause lines to form around the vermilion border, which is just right around the lips, and lips can easily lose moisture and volume, becoming more dry, chapped, and cracked. So that is when products for the lips are beneficial, so they can protect delicate tissue, provide a more youthful appearance, and prevent early signs of aging. They provide nutrients and hydration to protect from moisture loss and improve dry, chapped lips. They also restore the natural lip volume and color and soften the lines around the vermilion border. For lip types or lip products, there are lip balms, creams, and oils, and they're formulated to hydrate and soften the lips. Some treatments contain collagen derivatives and other agents to plump the skin and restore a natural volume. Exfoliating and healing ingredients can also be used in lip conditioners. Sun protection products or sunscreens are going to be used as the last step of a facial treatment and are essential for daily home care use all year long. So the benefits of SPF is that it protects from UV radiation exposure, skin cancer, premature aging, and skin damage. Sun protection factor, or the SPF rating, is a measure of time. So it's determining how long a sunscreen product will protect you from UVB rays, which is the biggest cause of sunburn. So the individual SPF rating number on a product is used to calculate the length of time. So for example, if you normally burn after 20 minutes in the sun without protection, an SPF 30 sunscreen would be multiplied by the 20 minutes, and that would result in 600 minutes of protection. So with the SPF rating, the amount of UVB rays being blocked is going to differ. So SPF 15 blocks approximately 93%, SPF 30 blocks about 97%, and then SPF 50 blocks 98%. And it's also important to remember that the SPF rating doesn't apply to UVA rays, so it's always recommended to use a broad spectrum sunscreen or sun protection product to protect against both UVA and UVB rays. And the types, there's just some basic sunscreens, and those would include creams, lotions, oils, and sprays that provide only the specified UV protection and are applied as the final step in any skincare routine. There's also a combination of day cream and lotion or sun protection. So like these would be more popular because they are easy to use and multi-purpose. And they provide the benefits of a day cream or lotion with a built-in sunscreen or SPF, and they can include other performance ingredients. So they can also be oil-free or richer in consistency and to be formulated for different skin types. There's also tinted sunscreens or moisturizers and lotions, and these give sun protection that also provides a sheer to light makeup foundation coverage to even out the skin tone. And a lot of them have minerals, often used to give it a more natural shade. And there's also BB creams, which are multitasking products for daytime use that include a day cream, a sunscreen, and makeup foundation coverage, and age prevention and corrective ingredients for all skin types. And these kind of originated in Korea, and they're often short for beauty balm or blemish balm. And then there's a spinoff for CC cream, which is similar, but it provides a little bit heavier coverage with the added performance ingredients to also improve skin imperfections. So recommending home care products is extremely important. So some experts estimate that 80% of the results in a skincare program are determined by daily year-round home care, which I completely agree with. And professional facial treatments enhance or boost those results, but it's really the proper daily care that is most important. Retailing products is very important, a part of an esthetician's job. It's also necessary for you and the business to be financially successful, and having products available for purchase will help clients achieve their skincare goals a little bit sooner. So you really need to consider yourself the client's skincare consultant, or a skin therapist, or even personal skincare trainer. And the client is really going to expect your expert advice and recommendations. So the 3 steps to successful retailing include providing product education. So education is going to be the key to the success, and it's true when recommending home care products. So you want to keep it simple and to the point. You just want to highlight the key product features and ingredients, and then how they will benefit the client's skin personally. You also want to be able to explain the benefits of professional products compared to over-the-counter products. So that would include the ability to customize for specific skin types and conditions. There would be a higher quality and quantity of performance ingredients, and the products are going to be a little bit more concentrated, which would then make them a little bit more cost effective. You also want to give present, precise instructions. So you want to give the clients simple but precise instructions on how to and then when to apply, and then also how much product you need to use. So a good idea would be to give a client a home care instruction sheet with your contact information, so if they have any questions, they can contact you. Also, practicing professional follow-ups can be beneficial. So following up with your clients after they purchase products that you've recommended can overall show you as a great skincare professional. So when you're choosing a professional skincare line, it's going to be one of the bigger decisions, business decisions as an esthetician, and the product line and retail sales will affect the overall success of the business. So remember that when you're choosing a product line, you're choosing a company that will have a long-term business partnership with. I mix and match what I use, so I don't think you really have to choose a specific line, but it's up to you at the end of the day. Some questions that you might want to consider when you're choosing your product line are like, is the range of products versatile? And you would want to consider the skin types and conditions of your clients. Are the ingredients high quality and beneficial? Are the wholesale costs and retail prices affordable for you and your clients? Is there a minimum amount of order that you have to have from the manufacturer? So do you have to order so many quantity of product? What support and product training and education does the manufacturer provide? What support in business and marketing does the manufacturer provide? Is the product name recognizable and reputable? Is the packaging appealing and easy to use? And does the manufacturer sell exclusively to licensed skincare professionals? Or do they also sell directly to consumers through their own website or other authorized online retailers? And with product prices and cost, generally the markup for retail is 100% or double the wholesale price. So you would pay double and then you would mark it up. You would double that price that you paid, and then that's how much you would sell it for. And you would want to keep in mind that aside from the wholesale costs of products, that if you are self-employed or you are going on your own, you would have other business expenses relating to products. And a good way to determine the actual product cost is to break down the purchase price into daily or weekly costs, which can give the client a better idea of affordability. So for example, if you have a product that's priced at $50 for 2 ounces and it's estimated to last 6 months, the cost per month is $8.33, the cost per week is $2.08, and then the cost per day would be 30 cents. So to conclude the learning objectives, or what we learned, we explained how skincare products and ingredients are significant for estheticians, described cosmetic regulations, laws, and product safety. We distinguished cosmetic ingredient sources and popular terms. We described the main types of ingredients in the cosmetic chemistry. We identified beneficial ingredients for skin types and conditions. We selected appropriate products for facial treatments and at-home care use. and recommended home care products with confidence. And we also summarized the points to consider when choosing the professional skincare line. And that will conclude our Chapter 6 video lecture. See you soon.